Tech and Talk of the Day, May the 8th, 12:49. Breaking the sky here temporarily. This is the Minelab Manticore. Equinox 900 users may watch this video. I'll make a few comments along the way. You know, you could be a beginner and buy an Equinox 900. You may be even of intermediate level experience, and you've been using even an 800, 600, okay? See that phone sitting up there? You see that little gold ring down there? 3 2x4s beneath it. This is all-terrain low conductors. Now, I can't say how this lines up on the Equinox exactly. Could line up with like a Part 2 or a Field 2. Alright. Default disc 0 through 4. Speed 5 and everything in this video, and that's not necessarily intentional. That's where they're at. You can use this machine in a park, for example, like this. All-terrain low conductors. You don't hear anything on that gold ring, do you? It's down there, though. So if you didn't know any better and you bought this machine and you went out in all-terrain low conductors, you might go right by that mighty gold ring. That ring reads 17 on this machine. We're going to talk a little bit about scales on these different multi-Q detectors, too. All-terrain general. You hear that? You see that meter? 09. You probably won't find many gold rings that will air test on this machine at a 09. I don't know what you would find, but I would say it would be more than 9. Probably closer to 14, 13 maybe. All-terrain high conductors. See that ID in that window. Speed 5. You got a 7, you got an 8. Beach, surf, and seawater, same speed. See that ID in that window? It's higher, ain't it? It's higher. So that's reading up there pretty good, actually. You might suspect that's a gold ring. Alright? Could be. Now, I don't know how I've got this set up. We'll just pretend. So I'm in this beach surfing seawater, and I've got this signal here. See that? Got that signal there. And I go over, if I had a favorites program set up, I ain't got it current. I go over here to all-terrain general, and I swept over this. Seeing different, ain't I? What would that suggest? Masking. If I pick this fall up, watch what happens here. All-terrain general. From similar call height you just seen me sweep. You see there, I got a 17. Beach surfing seawater. ID more or less carbon copies, don't they? But the beach surfing seawater can do better at unmasking, yet the ID can be skewed. And odds are its ID won't be skewed as much. So you may see some scenarios where you get no signal with all-terrain general. Surfing seawater's giving signal. You may see some where surface seawater is reporting higher. See, if that situation right there, if surface seawater was reporting like a 7 or an 8, there's a good chance if I went to all-terrain general, I may not hear anything. And what would that suggest? I've got a target situation that the surface seawater, and we already know what the strength, one of the strengths of it is. Unmasking lower conductive trash. Okay? Now, let's talk a little bit here about ID scales. And this Equinox 900, Equinox 700. You know, there are newer models released as well. Well, I don't know how those, this machine here has a beach surface seawater. Well, that program there, and that program there, and that program won't do what that program does. So you Equinox 700, 900 owners, look at your beach programs, compare some of your other programs, your park and field, to your beach programs and find out which one does the best at unmasking around fall. You might consider using that. Now, let me add something else here too. Remember the Equinox 800 and the 600? Well, they had smaller scales. Meaning, a lot of your fall could read a 1, 2, and some of that was even default notched on the machine in some of the programs. A nickel read 13. Well, that reads 17 on this machine. I don't know what it would read on an 800 Equinox, for example. So the 900 has a larger scale. What that means is you have more of an ability to set your disc to kill target scenarios. The Equinox 800 running, say, the beach one or whatever it was, to run it and cull targets, it probably didn't do as good a job because the scale was lower. See, I can run this machine, for example, in surf and seawater. I can run the disc up to 8 or 9. And I can come over that situation. If it reads a 9, 10, 11, whatever, I'm going to get a signal. So then I can go to All-Terrain General to see what it does. You might be able to do this with an Equinox 900 and a 700 since the ID scales are larger. See, your low conductors on your 800 and 600 was more compressed. So, a situation here reading a 9, for example, on this machine, it may read a 3 on the 800 Equinox. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have the level to go around and selectively set a good disc. You would have to either run a machine where it's knocking out more or it's knocking out less. Using this machine and perhaps the Equinox 900, 700, you may be able to do some of what I can do with this Manicore. Alright? So, you can take the Manicore, you can take that Equinox 900 and that 700 into some of them park programs or field programs. All-terrain low conductors on that Manicore. You can be out in sites getting no signal at all where go rings exist. You could also be getting with a notch of 4 or disc of 4 on this machine, which will get rid of most fall. You could see 5 and 6 in the meter. And that could be telling you that there's a go ring. It just happens to be under some lower conductive trash. But it could also be a standalone lower conductor that's reading 6. And that surface seawater, if you locate the target with that, using your soft key, you transition to all-terrain low conductor or all-terrain general. I like using all-terrain general better, but you can use all-terrain low conductor. See, if it's a solo setting ring that reached 17, well, that all-terrain low conductor on this machine right here with that 11-inch coil, if it's solo sitting down there, it's going to hit it. And the ID's probably not going to be skewed. It's probably going to be, it'll ID every bit as good as surfing seawater. As long as there's no low conductive trash masking. Just remember this. If you're going to do this, what I'm suggesting in this video, you do have an iron tone on these machines. Alright? So if there's iron present in the tonal signature, you need to weigh that into your equation. If there is no iron tone, then you probably don't need to. So you can have ID and error caused by both iron, ferrous, and non-ferrous trash. Lower conductive. Alright? And you do get performance using the small coil, and you get some performance using the stock coil. But there will be situations where the small coil outshines that coil, and there will be situations where that coil, the stock coil, outshines the small coil. Stock coils are probably used more in sites. So in a hard hunted site that's had a few or several stock coil Manticore users in there, it might behoove you to take the small coil and employ it. That's going to conclude the video. I hope everybody has a nice day.